What if I told you that right now, this very moment, you could know which of your employees is going to quit in 6 months? Not guess, not hope, no, not because you have a crystal ball, because you have data and the AI to actually use it. Welcome to Unlock, Empower, Transform. I'm Che Blackmon, and today we're diving into one of the most expensive problems in business, employee turnover, and how artificial intelligence is completely changing the game. We're talking $550 billion. That's billion with a B. And I'm going to show you how to stop being part of that statistic. Let's start with some numbers that should make every business leader sit up straight. $550 billion. That's what employee turnover costs American companies every single year. To put that in perspective, that's more than the GDP of Sweden. It's more than the combined revenue of Amazon and Apple. It's an absolutely staggering amount of money, and most of it is preventable. Here's where it gets personal. When someone leaves your organization, you're not just losing a salary line item, you're losing recruiting costs, job postings, recruiter fees, interview time, training investment, everything you spent getting them up to speed. Productivity loss. It takes 8 to 12 months for a new hire to reach full productivity. Knowledge drain, the institutional wisdom that walks out the door with them. Team disruption, the ripple effect on everyone who stays. Added up and replacing a single employee costs between 50% and 200% of their annual salary. For a $60,000 employee, that's $30,000 to $120,000 per person, per departure. And here's the kicker. Research shows that 42% of employee turnover is preventable, almost half. That means companies are hemorrhaging money on departures they could have stopped if they'd seen them coming. But here's the problem with traditional HR approaches. By the time you know someone's leaving, they've already mentally checked out. The exit interview? That's an autopsy, not a diagnosis. You're finding out why the patient died, not how to save them. In my 20-plus years of HR leadership across manufacturing, automotive, and healthcare, I can't count the number of times I've heard a manager say, "I had no idea they were unhappy." And every time, I think, you should have known. We should have systems that tell us. Now we do. This is where predictive analytics enters the conversation, and it's genuinely transformative. Predictive analytics for turnover isn't science fiction. It's happening right now, and it works by analyzing patterns that humans simply can't see at scale. Here's what AI can track and correlate: engagement patterns, how employees interact with company systems, respond to surveys, and participate in meetings over time. A sudden drop in engagement, even subtle ones, can signal disengagement before it becomes resignation. Performance trajectory, not just current performance, but the direction it's moving. Someone whose performance is declining may not be struggling. They may be checking out. Tenure milestones. There are predictable risk points, the 90-day mark, the 1-year anniversary, the 3-year plateau. AI can flag employees approaching these milestones who also show other risk indicators, manager relationships. The data consistently shows that people don't leave companies, they leave managers. I can identify which manager-employee relationships are showing strain before a resignation letter appears. Compensation competitiveness. Is someone being paid below market? Have they been passed over for raises while their peers advanced? These are quantifiable risk factors. Career progression gaps, employees who haven't been promoted, haven't received new responsibilities, or haven't had development opportunities in a certain time frame show elevated flight risk. Now, here's the crucial part. AI doesn't just identify at-risk employees. It does it 3 to 6 months in advance. That's not a window for panic. That's a window for action. Because when you know someone is at risk of leaving in 6 months, you can actually do something about it. You can have meaningful career conversations. You can address compensation gaps. You can improve the manager relationship. You can provide development opportunities. The research on this is compelling. Organizations using predictive retention analytics see turnover reductions of 25% to 40%. Think about what that means for your bottom line. If you're losing 20 people a year at an average replacement cost of $75,000, that's $1.5 million walking out the door. Reduce that by 30%, and you've just saved $450,000 annually. That's not a soft HR metric. That's hard dollars back in your organization. This is exactly why I'm building something I'm incredibly excited about, the CBC Predictive Retention Platform. Through my doctoral research at National University, I'm pursuing my DBA in organizational leadership. I'm developing Michigan's first AI-powered culture transformation platform specifically designed to predict employee turnover before it happens. This isn't theoretical, this is applied research meeting real-world HR challenges. Here's what makes this approach different. First, it's culture-centered. Most turnover prediction tools focus purely on individual data points. But after 24 years in HR, I know that turnover isn't just an individual decision. It's a cultural symptom. Our platform connects individual risk signals to broader cultural patterns, so you're not just playing whack-a-mole with at-risk employees. You're addressing the root causes. Second, it's action-oriented. Prediction without intervention is just expensive fortune-telling. Our platform doesn't just tell you who's at risk, it provides specific research-backed intervention strategies based on the particular risk factors involved. Manager relationship issue? Here's the coaching protocol. Compensation gap? Here's the market data and conversation framework. Third, it integrates with high-value leadership principles. In my book, High Value Leadership, Transforming Organizations Through Purposeful Culture, I outline a comprehensive framework for building cultures where people want to stay. The platform operationalizes that framework, turning principles into daily practices and measurable outcomes. I'm currently conducting customer discovery interviews with Michigan executives to refine this platform. If you're a leader at a company with 20 to 200 employees dealing with turnover challenges, I'd love to talk to you. Your insights directly shape what we're building, and early participants will get first access when we launch. Now, to gauge your organization's turnover vulnerability, I call this the Flight Risk 5. For each question, give yourself a score from 1 to 5. 1 means not at all, 5 means absolutely. Question 1. Do you know right now which employees are most likely to leave in the next 6 months? Question 2. Do your managers have regular, meaningful career development conversations with their direct reports, not annual reviews, but ongoing dialogue? Question 3, can you identify which teams or departments have the highest turnover risk based on data, not gut feeling? Question 4, when someone does leave, do you typically learn something in the exit interview that surprises you? Question 5, do you have intervention protocols in place, specific actions to take when an employee shows signs of disengagement? Add up your score. If you scored 20 to 25, you're in strong shape. You have systems and awareness in place. Your focus should be optimization and continuous improvement. If you scored 13 to 19, you have foundations but significant gaps. You're probably losing people you could have kept with better early warning systems. If you scored below 13, you're flying blind. And I guarantee you're paying the price in preventable turnover. This is your wake-up call. Here's the good news. Wherever you scored, improvement is possible. And it doesn't require a massive technology investment to get started. It starts with intentionality, with deciding that employee retention is a strategic priority, not just an HR metric. Now, I want to connect this to something that might not seem obvious at first, your own resilience as a leader. Because here's what I've observed in my career. Leaders who are burned out, stressed out, and running on empty cannot build cultures where people want to stay. Your energy is contagious, and so is your depletion. In my Shield Resilience Strategy Guide, which is free, and I'll tell you how to get it in a moment, I talk about building sustainable resilience through 6 key elements. 2 of them directly connect to retention leadership, external support, creating robust support systems, As a leader, you need your own network of mentors, peers, and advisors, but you also need to be intentional about building support systems for your team. When employees feel supported, when they have mentors, sponsors, and genuine connections at work, they're dramatically less likely to leave. The guide walks you through how to build these networks for yourself and model them for your organization. Daily practices, building resilience through consistency. Retention isn't a one-time initiative. It's a daily practice. The leaders who keep their best people aren't the ones who throw retention bonuses at flight risks. They're the ones who have daily habits of connection, recognition, and development. The guide includes specific daily practices you can implement immediately. The point is this: you cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot build a retention culture while running on fumes. Your personal resilience and your organization's retention are connected. If today's content is resonating with you, if you're thinking, I need more of this, I need a systematic approach, I want you to know about my upcoming High Value Leadership Intensive. This is the comprehensive system for building cultures that don't just retain talent, but attract it. We go deep into building predictive retention systems, how to identify flight risk before it's too late, even without sophisticated AI tools. Creating manager excellence. Because remember, people leave managers, not companies. Designing career pathways that keep your best people growing. Establishing the culture metrics that actually predict retention. The intensive is designed for leaders who are serious about transformation, who understand that turnover isn't just an HR problem, it's a leadership problem. And leadership problems require leadership solutions. Join the waitlist. Link is in the description. Early registrants get priority access and exclusive bonuses. Let's bring this home. $550 billion, that's what's at stake. But more than the money, it's the people. It's the talented individuals who leave organizations every day because no one saw the signs, no one had the conversation, no one took action in time. AI-powered predictive analytics isn't about replacing human judgment, it's about augmenting it. It's about giving you the foresight to be proactive instead of reactive. It's about transforming retention from a crisis response into a strategic advantage. Here's what I want you to do. First, download the Shield Resilience Strategy Guide. It's free, it's comprehensive, and the external support and daily practices sections will directly help you build a retention-focused leadership practice. Link is in the description. Second, drop a comment and tell me, what's your organization's biggest retention challenge right now? I read every comment, and your questions shape future episodes. Third, if this episode gave you value, share it with another leader who needs to hear this, especially if they're dealing with turnover headaches. Let them know there's a better way. Make sure you're subscribed because on Tuesday, we're tackling the culture data blind spot. What you're not measuring is costing you. We're going to expose the metrics most organizations ignore and why those blind spots are bleeding you dry. And for the complete framework on building high-value cultures, grab my book, High Value Leadership: Transforming Organizations Through Purposeful Culture. Links in the description. I'm Che Blackmon. Stop paying the turnover tax, start predicting the unpredictable, unlock your potential, empower your teams, transform your culture. See you Tuesday.